Hey y'all, welcome to Intimate Conversations with Pink Kittee, and I am your host, Vanessa Brown, and I'm owner of Pink Kittee LLC, who is the sole sponsor of this show. And tonight we're going to be talking about, well, the show is titled Post Pandemic, but if you have been paying attention, you know that we are actually still in the middle. I won't say in the middle, but we're somewhere in the midst of a pandemic still. A lot of places have been opening up fully. And when I say opening up, I mean restaurants are now not requiring masks for people that are vaccinated, and stores are not requiring masks in some locations. Parks and things that have been closed recently have opened back up. And I know myself for Pink Kittee, hey, full body frequency. For Pink Kittee, we have been doing events for a little while now, but still very protected, still masked up. Sometimes I'm wearing the full plastic facial covering. So there's just, I don't really feel like we're post pandemic, but I know that in a lot of places and a lot of spaces, there are a lot of persons that feel like we're post pandemic. And quite frankly, that's a little scary for me because just as recently as a week ago, another one of my friends has died from COVID. And that makes 29 people that I had personal relationships with that have died from COVID since last year. So, like I said, I don't personally feel like we're post pandemic, and I probably should not have titled this show that. However, like I said, I am aware that there are plenty of people that do feel that way. Um, Before I get started talking about stats and things that I think we should still be doing and trying to find out what you guys are doing, I want to mention that Pink Kittee is your one stop shop for adult novelty and all things related to intimacy and romance. We have started our intimacy coaching live on Zoom, and actually, we have a female ejaculation workshop coming up. Yep, and we will be doing it on Zoom. The cost will be I think it's $25. Don't quote me, y'all. But I believe the cost will be $25, and you receive a little packet in the mail with your registration for this course. And we will be talking about squirting and if it's pee and how to maximize your orgasm and the 15 different types of orgasm. No, I think we're probably talking about seven, but there are 15 different types of orgasm. But we're going to talk about seven different types of orgasm, and it's going to be fun. So make sure you're on the lookout for that. The newsletter is going out tonight with that info on how to register. And again, we're your one stop shop for all things related to intimacy and romance. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, this show tonight will be about the current pandemic that we're living in and how it's actually affecting our dating life and how we're feeling about ourselves and things of that nature. I am doing the show alone today because I had 2 weeks straight where my co-host, did not show up. And I was just like, we are not doing that because I value you guys too much and we're not even going to play that game. But next week, I mean, our next show is not next week, it's the week after next. We're definitely going to be getting it on and popping with some different guests. I have Sensual Sage coming, who was going to be here 2 weeks ago. And we're going to talk about sensual body movement. So something else to look forward to. But anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. I did do a little bit of research as of yesterday, July the 1st. COVID vaccinations were at 67% for all U.S. adults, which is actually a pretty good number because, you know, there's a number of us that are saying we're not getting it. And there's a number of people that are like, they trying to kill us, you know, so I think all things considered, that's a pretty good number for nationwide numbers. Total cases that have been reported as of today, since March the 1st of 2020, is 34 million. 34 million people have been affected by this virus. That is so scary that even with 34 million people that have been affected by this virus, not affected by this virus, but actually infected with the virus, these are positive test results. Um, 34 million people, then you still have people that are saying, oh, it's a hoax, it's not real, and they don't care. And still, I mean, to this day, we are almost 2 full years in, we still have people arguing with the store clerks saying they're not going to wear a mask and they're being sheep. And it's just unreal. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Come on, talk to me in the comments, because it's just me and you today. So, and then as of today, the total deaths that have been reported for entire just COVID is 603,000. And when I read that number, it still is unsettling to me that out of 603,000 people that have die from this virus, that I happen to know 29. That is a lot of people. Hey, Curtis. I was wondering if you was joining us today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So that is, I'm not trying to teach gloom and doom. I'm just trying to figure out like how you guys are still, with everything opening up, how are you guys handling life during this pandemic? I have one friend that I really wanted to mention during this podcast that he's taken 4 COVID tests, right? And his first test in June of 2020 was positive. He has had 3 tests since that first positive test. And the last one that we talked about was in January of 2021. And that test was still positive. So he's had 4 positive COVID tests. Like, do you understand that? Like, and he has not been hospitalized for it. His doctor has not given him any, major medications for it. He is what they consider to be asymptomatic, although he has symptoms. He's reporting that even today, he still has trouble tasting certain things. And this has been since June of last year. So I just really want us to understand that I'm saying since June of last year, this person is still, as of January of this year, having a positive test. And he's just like, well, I don't think it's ever going to be negative again. So I'm not taking the test again. Nah, I don't agree with that. I think he should still be testing. But, again, this is however people have to navigate through this. We kind of just got to let him do that. The problem is, like I said, he's seemingly asymptomatic, although he, like I said, still reports he lost his sense of smell, he lost his sense of taste, and he was very congested and has a persistent cough from June of 2020 to today. Matter of fact, I spoke with him last week, maybe it was the week before last, and he still had that cough while I was talking to him on the phone. This person is still going to work every day in the public sector because he just feels like he is just going to always have a positive test, even though he doesn't have COVID. Like, am I using my air quotes properly? I don't know. But anyway, that bothers me so much that he has not had a negative test and he is just still out working amongst the people. I have not seen him, y'all. I have not been in the same room with him. I don't have any plans to be in the same room with him. He did volunteer to come assist me when my dog was killed last month. And I was like, oh, you can stay in Chicago. I'm good. Because, like, what? No, I'm not interested in that. I have another friend that got COVID. He had a really bad he had a really bad bout with COVID, and he was really sick. He was vomiting, nausea, everything. And he was in the house with an older family member, and everybody in the house caught COVID except his 98-year-old granddad. So it just, I guess, the thing that concerns me the most is we never really know. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. We never really know how it's going to affect us So I just want to know if you guys are still being protective of yourself. Like, are you still wearing a mask when you go out? Are you still sanitizing your products when you come home? Like, what are you doing to be safe during this pandemic? Um, I recently went out to a bar, and nobody in there had a mask on for me and the person that I went to the bar with. And it was nice to see people's faces, and but it just still was unsettling. So I actually, after that, I went and got tested for the first time because I hadn't gotten tested all this time because I have really, really, really been home and kind of protecting myself, I believe, from this virus. And I had literally no symptom of the virus. But just because I went to this outing, I was like, I just want to make sure because it just didn't feel right. Even though I was masked up and I had my HLCL with me, I don't know if any of you have had a conversation with me, then you know I swear by this stuff. It's just my little mist that I use, and it's actually a HLCL acid that kills any bacteria or virus in the vicinity for up to 24 hours. And I am anal retentive about it. Like, you literally only have to use it one time in 24 hours, and it kills everything for that period of time. But I still just use it like multiple times. Like, anytime somebody new walks by me, I'm like, when I go to the grocery store, I'm like doing it to my cart. I'm like rubbing it on my pets when people like see me and my pets walking down the street. I'm like, as soon as they get in the house, I'm like, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be safe because I'm still freaking out. Or I just want to know, like, am I doing this by myself, or are you guys still tripping on how this virus is affecting you? I'm meeting people on the street, guys are, stopping me and wanting to have conversation and wanting to get close. And I'm like, we still in a pandemic, right? Like, I want to, like, get closer to people, but I really need to gauge like how you guys are, how you're still protecting yourself while everything around you is opening up. Like, I know one of my girlfriends, when I pulled out my little mister at the bar, because yeah, I took it with me because yeah, that's what I do. So I took it with me, and one of my girls was like, "Oh my God," rolling her eyes, like, you don't feel weird. No, I feel safer. That's what I feel. So I don't have a problem with you thinking I'm nuts because I do so many other things that other people think I'm nuts about. Like, that's just one more thing for you to look at me like I'm crazy about. But I just wanted to know, like, again, how you guys are heading. Yeah, I see you guys say you keep your mask on and you're still keeping your distance. Yeah, like I feel really like I just can't. I don't trust these people because, like I said, this person who I spoke about before, who has not had a negative COVID test. Oh, mine came out negative, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. Has not had a negative COVID test. Um, it's just still out amongst the world. He's not telling his customers. He's not telling his clients. He was like, well, everybody in my family had it, so it's all good. And I'm like, what? So yeah, full body frequency. I'm with you. Like, I prefer to do outdoor dining. Like I said, I did go to this bar because I'm dealing with a lot of grief that I finally just, have to take care of. Like I mentioned, I know 29 people that have passed from this virus. And in addition to, like I said, my dog was just killed. So I'm going through like a lot of grieving at this time. And so I decided, I'm going to go out and be my own people to kind of get my mind off of things and get out of my house. And I just still like had this, even with my HOCL and my mask, I just had this sense of anxiety because, like I said, nobody in there was wearing a mask. They was just like, we were back to normal. And I'm like, well, I'm going to say back to normal, back to this new space. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. Like, I cursed him out and didn't talk to this guy for a few months. And I felt bad because I'm like, this guy has COVID. He could, he could pass or whatever. But I wanted to know, like, I still kept being curious, like, so do you still have it? Okay, do you still have it? okay, you got it again. Like I'm like, what is your doctor saying to you? So yeah, it is very disturbing. And like I said, he works in the private sector, and I mean in the public sector, he's all like his business is solely revolving around people and being close enough to them to obtain, receive and distribute things. So it is very scary and it is unsettling. And yeah, he could be passing it to others. Oh, and the other person whose story I wanted to mention while we were having this conversation is I also know this woman that is here in Dallas that works in a dental office. And she had a positive test for COVID. She was sick for 2 weeks and like physical signs of COVID. She was really, really sick, and then after the 2 weeks was up, she was feeling better, but she didn't have any more vacation time. And her job told her, we know that your COVID test is still positive, but if you don't come to work, we're going to fire you, because she was feeling better. So she was like, I feel like I don't have a choice. And I'm like, wait, so you work in a dentist office in people's mouths? She's a hygienist. And you going to work? Like, I just like these stories of people that I actually know are enough to make me go, I'm still being cautious. I'm still being cognizant of the spaces that I'm in. And I just do not understand how people are acting like this isn't happening, because it is happening and it is real. And we do need to be on guard. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't know. I don't know. I could not, in good faith, have my business just out in the open, not wearing a mask and just constantly, selling things to people. Like, I wouldn't do it. When I go to my events again, me and my little mister, I'm spraying my product constantly. Every time somebody comes to look at something, I'm spraying my mist. And again, I know it works for up to 24 hours, but I want you to be safe and I want me to be safe. So despite the fact that I know that this works for 24 hours, I'm saying I'm going to spray it anyway, because I really want you to see that I have your best interest at heart, that I'm definitely concerned about your health. And I'm for sure concerned about my health, because I'm all I got, right? So, yeah, I just want to make sure that we're still being safe. And I just wanted to know kind of where people were with the thoughts on, these things opening up and everybody acting like, oh, yeah, let's party. I've seen the mayor of Chicago out without a mask in certain spaces, and I'm going, okay, I know she's fully vaccinated, but I don't know. I just still feel like even if you're vaccinated, you should be cautious, because it's a virus. So you could be a carrier, even if you don't get the symptom, can't you just be a carrier? That's what I feel. So that's why I'm just like, I'm not with it. I can't just act like it's not happening. I can't act like it's not out there. And I don't even know if I'll ever be able to feel that way. I don't know how long I'll wear my mask. I don't know what it needs to look like for me to be comfortable in that space going, okay, this is all good. So what are you guys looking for you to feel like that? Like, for you to feel like I don't need to keep my distance anymore, or I don't need to have my mask on. What do you need to see? Do you know? Because I'm not sure what's going to make me feel comfortable. Because like when you think about it, I know everybody has rolled up on somebody sitting in their car, digging in their nose, right? And then they get out and they're shaking somebody's hand or touching something in the store. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, people are so disgusting. Can't trust it. Can't trust it. So, what do you guys think though? What does it need to look like? What do you need to see? What would make you feel better about feel like we're kind of out of the woods with this COVID thing? Come on, y'all. I see you in there. And thank you for being here. Again, this is Intimate Conversations with Pink Kittee. My name is Vanessa Brown, and I'm the owner of Pink Kittee LLC. And oh my God. Oh, so you like my new tank top? I mean, yeah, my little bodysuit. Have just added this to my new line. to my line of products. So yes, I am very happy and feeling sexy in this red bodysuit that you can get at pinkitty.com. And it is $25, and it actually snaps in the at the crotch. So easy access. but but still, COVID free loving, right? COVID free loving. So yeah, so I don't know what it needs to look like. I don't know what would make me feel like I was safe being out in the world amongst people anymore. But I just know that I'm not there, right? I'm not there right now. Right now, I don't feel like I can just go out and be like, hey, we kicking it. Like I had a pool party last week, and we were still really socially distanced, but I spent most of my time in the pool because I'm a water nymph. Um, I spent most of my time in a pool. So again, I'm with the chlorine and have my little mister still. Like I'm just so extra about making sure that I keep it safe. I just wanted to have this conversation with you guys. I was going to have a nurse here to talk about some of the symptoms, but we all know what most of the symptoms are. You're feeling weak. You have a like flu-like symptoms, mostly affecting the lungs and the chest, congestion. Um, so I didn't want us to like make this like some morbid show about that. I just really wanted to check in with y'all and make sure that we're all doing our part to be as safe. I say safe. Safe doesn't have to. Okay, and we're all being safe as we can to keep this virus to a minimum. I did read some documentation recently that said that those of us, include that's me because I didn't get vaccinated yet, those of us that are not vaccinated are making it more difficult for the virus to go away because it's mutating. And I'm not sure like how that could be. So that was why I wanted to have a nurse on. I actually tried to get a doctor. He works at the University of Illinois in Chicago. I actually tried to get him on, and he was like, "Oh, it's a Friday night." So I've been considering moving the show to Thursdays. I really don't want to because I don't know. Friday nights have been sort of okay, but like as far as my co-hosts, when I'm having people on, they're like, "Oh, it really needs to be Thursday." So I'm not sure if we're gonna do that. I'm hearing what they're saying, but obviously the people that are actually watching the show are the most important. Right? Because I can just keep, trying with different guests rather than, have those people that Friday is inconvenient for. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. We'll talk about that on some other day. But yeah, so I feel you, Curtis. It just will take a lot more. And again, I would have, when I initially thought of this show, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to make a list of things that I would like to see happening before I felt like I was being more safe during this time of this pandemic and the space that we're in right now. And I know that I would like to see the number of deaths per day slow down. Like today, I saw that 671 people died on yesterday from COVID. Like that was the national number for the U.S. 671 people died just yesterday. And I mean, considering how many people are in the U.S., that doesn't seem like a big number. But when you consider that 603,000 persons have already died, and now we're adding 671 to that number on just yesterday, to me, that's a lot. And although, knock on everything, it wasn't anybody that I know. Um, I It's unsettling. That's not enough. Like I don't know what I need to see if the number needs to be like single digits, or I don't know how many people die from the flu or from a common cold prior to this virus being out there. So I can't say what number makes me feel comfortable. I just know 671 did, right? The number of cases per day would need to go down. Like I said, at this point, we have 34 million cases that have been reported. And so I don't know, like that would obviously have to go down a great deal for me to feel safer or feel well enough to just walk into spaces like I don't need no mask. And I don't know, I think I would need more people to acknowledge it. I mean, a lot of people are acknowledging that COVID is here, but I'm saying like, um, I don't know. Maybe like when I go into restaurants, like in my home, I have this HOCl mister that sends out the acid into my home. So whoever walks in, you're getting misted. And it works. So I think I would need to see those in the restaurants that they are actually working. I have been seeing them when I go to like the Thai food restaurant and when I go to get sushi, but I haven't been seeing them in just run of the mill places like, you know, that they have things like that in place, these air filters with the UV light that is supposed to kill all the viruses or bacteria. That I'm not seeing that, and so for me, I need to see that. I need to see that you, even if you believe that the virus doesn't exist, I need to feel like you care that I believe that it exists. So it's just a number of things that that I would need to see, and I just don't have a complete list because it kind of varies by day. As each day goes, I'm thinking of, ooh, okay, that's one more thing. So I really just, like I said, I really wanted to have this show to kind of talk about that and make sure that we're still protecting ourselves. I just want all of us to be around, for a really, really, really long time. I heard some pastors say that the Bible guarantees that each of us will live to we're the age of 99, provided we're in good health. And I can't tell you where that passage came from, but that's what the man said. So, um, uh, yeah, I'd like to see that. I think my grandfather turns 100 years old this year in November, and he's seen a lot of stuff and has a lot of stories. And I think I'd want to be that person. People are like, really? This happened? Because I've had an amazing life. And I need to tell people about it. um, um, but yeah, I just really wanted to just check in because I don't want us to be pretending like this thing isn't still here, and I don't want us to be pretending like we can act like we can go back to the status quo or back to the way we behaved in 2019 um, before we heard that this virus is out here. I sincerely believe that we still need to keep our distance, like you said, full body frequency, and I sincerely believe we still need to be wearing our mask, Curtis, because this shit is real, and trying to meet people is a little intimidating because you just don't know how these people have um, been caring for themselves during the pandemic. And um, yeah, that's just the meat of it. Wherever you go, whomever you come in contact with. For me, I'm mentioning dating, but just meeting people to be friends with, to network with. You still don't know, and just because they look like they're not coughing, it's kind of like the person that I was talking about earlier. That that doesn't mean that they have a negative result, or in my case, again, I haven't even gotten tested until I decided to go out into the world, and I was like, okay, let me I mean, I didn't go that same day. Obviously, I think I waited 4 days after we went out, and then I was like, let me just make sure. I didn't feel sick, but because like I said, nobody had it on and everybody ran to hug me because I hadn't been out. And I was just like, I know I used my HOCl, but I need to make sure that I'm okay because I have family that came to visit me from out of town and everything, and I have more family that is coming. I did not want to put anyone at risk, and then I'm shipping out product, so again, I did not want to put anyone at risk. So for me, that was being responsible for my actions that I was having mixed thoughts about. I'm out here with these people that are not wearing masks and they partying it up and sweating and I don't know what the heck. So I just want you guys to be safe too. And I didn't want to keep you long because again, we don't want to talk about COVID. We actually want to get back to sex talk. So next week will be our very first live intimate conversations with Pink Kittee presents Bed Talk. And we're going to talk about all things related to sex. Yep, I'm going to be answering the questions that you guys have sent me that I've received on my website. So we're going to be talking about lubricant and the best toys for clitoral stimulation. We're going to talk about anal play, and I'm going to have some product on the table so we can talk about it. All right. So I'll see you guys next week. Same bat time. Thank you for joining me, and make sure you hashtag get you some. Bye.